The most common pickup used on this kind of instrument is a piezo transducer, which goes in between the neck and the soundboard. This is very similar to the pickups I use on my other cigar box dulcimers. With a solid wood body, I use an underside transducer, piezo transducer, often Bellcat or K&K. But for a traditional cigar box, using a real cigar box, we can purchase a transducer like this. This is a 20mm transducer, and you can pick up these very cheaply. You can buy these transducers ready-made for cigar box guitars with the jack socket already attached. By buying them separate, they're cheap to experiment with. Because you're attaching it to a quite relatively thick top, the extra sensitivity of these ones works to its advantage. We'll use a glue gun to attach the piezo transducer to the neck. This is an electric guitar end socket. Now what you may find is that it's slightly curved on the edge, in which case you'll need to flatten this to use on the cigar box. Once you've got your jack socket, you need to think about how the jack socket will be in relationship to the neck. The neck isn't attached at this moment. Space for the screws and for the hole that you're going to drill through this block of wood. And also there is enough space for the wires to reach the jack socket. Before we do that, just going to explain roughly. So we're going to use a Forstner bit to drill a hole here. We want it larger than the 20mm diameter we've got here. So we'll go for about 30mm. And we're going to be mounting this upside down. We're going to drill out a hole maybe 3mm deep. That gives us enough space to put some glue in, to embed the pickup, and then to put a bit of glue covering it. So what we want is the pickup to be completely encased with the wires hanging out ready. What we need to do now is to make a space for the lead to come out. So with it in the center, and we're just going to use a small saw . So we're just cutting out the channel, just down to the 3mm mark. So we need to think about placement of our jack socket. On this particular cigar box, the bottom is quite thin and the top is the thick one. So we're going to center this on the block at the bottom. So work out the best position. And then I'm going to mark using an awl. Now the mark between these two holes, I'm going to measure . Check it's the center point. You need a different hole depending what fitting you're using. I think I need the 20mm one for this particular example. We've drilled a hole down here. We've chiseled this, cut this out. I've had to cut out an extra piece of wood here. The clear space for this to go in now. I'll stick one of my labels under the. So the wiring of the piezos are very simple. The black goes to the inner ground, which is this one here, and the red goes to the outer live. If you buy these with the jack socket ready built on, you can save yourself a lot of time. The wire is actually just slightly too short. I would like to have at least another 3 centimeters ideally before I use this. Don't want it to be taut under too much tension. I do have some spare cable, which is a little bit better quality. So I'm going to use this. I'm just going to cut 2 pieces. Probably want to add about 3 centimeters extra. And exactly the same for the red. This is just standard guitar cable. Okay, so we'll do the black one first. Very carefully on the edge. Just heating it up until it comes loose. Very simple. Okay, and we take our black one and we place it on. Check the connection, it's fine. Same with the red. Very carefully heat it up and then apply it a bit of tension. It should just come undone. Be careful, it's going to get very hot. This is where I went wrong. There you go. Same again. A bit more solder on the soldering iron. We are using such a small amount. I don't want to dribble solder everywhere, but okay. Ready? There we go. Okay, so we make sure that we're going to solder the black one to the short, this one here. Okay, it's nice and shiny. That's one down. If you have your amplifier available, it's worth double checking that the connection's good, that the tap tone is equal all the way around. So now we can attach I'm going to screw on the end jack socket. So to attach the pickup, we're going to put a bed of glue and we're going to seat the piezo with the cables down into this position. Once this is glued in position, where they're going to cover the rest of the glue over the top, and then we're going to put a piece of plastic over the top. The idea is that the piezo is encased in this rubber solid liquid glue. This should keep the noise down of the pickup once it's in use. But we'll see. The good thing about hot glue is that if you want to take this apart, you can remelt the glue, you can take it out, you can unsolder the parts and try a different piezo if you want. And with these piezos, you can encase these in leather, you can put cork or some other material or harder plastic, different sizes as well. Hot melt glue gun available on Amazon. I'm going to turn the gun on, let it heat up. We want to get the gun to the stage when the glue melts. I'm going to start putting the glue on. Okay, first of all, we're going to get the glue in position. Ensure it's nice and central and it's just below the surface. Okay. I've got a good seat, everything's nice and flat. Then we're going to continue to put glue over the top. And then we've got a piece of tape. Just leave that until it cools. While we're waiting for this just to cool down, it won't take long. What we can do is think about how we're going to attach the top. Now you can just leave the top pressure fit if you like. The pressure of the bridge will hold this in place. But if you want, you can put little corner blocks in, which is what I'm going to do, and screw it in. So you need to just measure every corner. So I'm going to use my digital caliper. And we're just going to measure the depth that we need here. 10mm blocks here on this side and 14.5 on this side. For this example, you have to measure each box separately because there'll be differences. So you can see the milky white color of the glue over the pickup. Any excess glue can be cut off. Okay, we're just going to plug in to finish off. All I'm going to do, I'm going to stick a piece of wood in the gap that we cut out before, just so that when the box is closed, there is no gaping hole. Take our spacing piece. If we can preserve the label, we can. Okay, it's not perfect, but so that's going to go there. And I will just spot glue this in. We don't want it to glue to the sides, but we do want it to glue to the bottom. But it's quite tricky to clamp this, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a combination of super glue and tight bond adhesive. Put a bit of glue under the bottom. At the same time, I'm going to put a couple of dots. Now this is going to secure this, and the PVA will do the final work. So we're going to wedge this in position. Okay. Again, this is not seamless, just fills in the gap, and it will glue to the neck only, not to the sides. Okay. The final thing to do, in every corner, we're going to try to do a discrete screw. Basically, we're just going to mark out with a bradawl. We probably don't need to drill this. It's a small screw. It's purely just holding it in place. We want to be as discreet as possible, really. going. It's a countersunk screw. In theory, it should just be just below the surface. You should just be able to feel it. You can countersunk it if you want, or just leave it slightly proud, as long as there's no sharp edges. And do the same for all the other sides as well.